Hey there, friends. Welcome back to my channel. Shalita here. Y'all, it's been a long time coming. We're in the, I guess, the second week of September. We need to talk about what we read last month, what we read for August. So I read 5 books in August, and I'm over. They were pretty good. No, I mean, I don't know if I read anything 5 stars or not. If not, I know it was dangerously close to a 5-star. But nevertheless, I had a pretty good reading month in August. So let's talk about it. But before we do, y'all know the drill. Y'all got 2 kids, okay? I'm not your mom. I'm not gonna keep telling you this. Like and subscribe. You're already here. The button right down there. Just click on it, boo. Just click on it. That's all you gotta do. Just click on it. Click that bell. Click the bell. So you'll know when I'm here. And you can show up too. And we can hang out together. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to talk about what I read in August. Y'all let me know down in the comments what you read in August. Let me know, did y'all have any bangers? Did you have any books that you DNF'd? Let me know, okay? So, the first book that I read in, where are we at? The first book that I read in August was Loving You Always by none other than Kennedy Ryan. So y'all, this is a part of the Bennett series, and this is book 2. So this book, it pretty much kind of continues where book 1 left off. And we are following the story of Walsh, Cam, and Karis. So this is messy. So this is, I think this is Kennedy Ryan's like debut series. So if you come into Kennedy Ryan's orbit, like myself, for the Skyland series, this is ahead of that, way ahead of that. And it's a little different. This is written in 3rd person, and it's messy, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be 100% honest. My man Walsh, I don't like him. This is a good book. Book 1 was good, but this man, I have like about this much respect for him. Okay, like I said, this follows Walsh, Cam, and Karis. This is a messy love triangle situation. Walsh and Cam are best friends, right? Since they were, knee high to a grasshopper. If you're old like me, you've heard that saying before. I don't exactly know what that means, but I just know that it just means they've been locked in like this, since they was. So they're best friends since childhood, grew up together. Walsh comes from Money Honey.
And a large popcorn.
A large? You got money. He got money. Get it all for him.
Whereas Cam doesn't, Cam had a hard life. So did Karis. So Cam and Karis are a couple. In book 1, they're dating. By book 2, they are full on married. But there is this attraction between Walsh and Karis. Now, mind you, when Walsh saw Karis, he didn't know that was his man's woman,
Oops, sorry.
But even after finding out that, hey, they are, they locked in, they together, that did not stop him from feeling like she's supposed to be mine, like she's supposed to be with me. So it's a messy love triangle situation. Like I said, I don't really, I don't care for Walsh because I just feel like, bro, that was your best friend. That was your best friend, and you know better. I mean, I don't care what kind of feelings you have. you push that shit down, because that's not you. She not for you. And so that's how I feel about Walsh. Cam isn't, Cam seems like a pretty decent guy, and then he does something pretty deplorable in book 1, so I'm not really his fan either in book 2. Tragedy strikes, something tragic happens in book 2. I can't say too much about it, because like I said, this is a series, but I can just let you know that I had a good time. They are a mess. Everybody needs therapy in this book. Somebody's in love with somebody that ain't in love with them. There's just hot mess express in this book. But I had a good time with it. So, do I recommend it? Yes. Yes, it's a good time. And it's Kennedy Ryan. You're never, I'm gonna say a double negative, so I'm just gonna stop. You're always gonna have a good time with her, okay? No matter what. So, next up, if you have not watched it, make that a point to do that after this. But I did a vlog recently reading YA. And so the next 3 books are the books that I read in that vlog. So first up is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. If you want your heart broken, go ahead and read this. This is the young adult thriller. This book broke my heart, just ripped it out. Okay, so this book, this follows the story of Monday and Claudia. So Monday and Claudia, they are 2 young black girls in middle school, getting ready to enter that 8th grade year. Y'all know, I mean, I'm pretty old, but I remember like 8th grade was like the equivalent of your senior year in high school. That was top tier. So they're entering in the 8th grade, their final year of middle school. And Claudia has such high hopes for them. She's a dancer, so she's got all kinds of things going for her. She goes away for the summer, and then when she comes back to find that her friend doesn't show up for the first day of school. Her best friend, Monday. So, days start going by. She's, Monday still hasn't shown up for school. Monday's not responding to her calls or texts. And she gets worried. Like, where's my best friend? Like, this isn't like her. She doesn't miss school. Claudia is reaching out to all the adults in her life to let them know something's wrong. Something is amiss. My best friend wouldn't just ghost me like this. She wouldn't just, not show up to school. Like, this girl's smart. This girl's going places. She wouldn't just do this. But all the adults in her life, all the adults in Monday's life, just nobody's listening to her. It's all falling on deaf ears. And it's really sad. It's really sad. There's no happy ending in this. I will say that and it's a thriller. You shouldn't expect there to be a happy ending, but this book just really shines a light on the failure, the failure in our society, in our country, that young black children go missing at alarming rates, and there's not enough outcry and outrage and attention brought to that. Monday was failed horribly by everyone in her life. Her community let her down, her family let her down, the police let her down, the school department, the school system let her down. Everybody in her life let her down. This is such a sad and heartbreaking story, and it's a work of fiction, but it is based on reality. It is based on, it's based on reality. It's based on facts. This happens. There are Mondays out there in this country, and it's just sad. So very heartbreaking. I feel like this is an important read for everyone. you know, not only does it, like I said, not only does it shine the light on, you know, the alarming rates of black children that go missing in this country, but you know, it takes a look at poverty and the you know, the effects on the, you know, the family unit, the, you know, the effects on the community. Just, yeah, just a really heartbreaking but very, very worthwhile read. And all of Tiffany D. Jackson's books, they make you stop and think. You know, a lot of her books, they feel like, oh, hold on, there's a dog running loose. Oh, look at her. Sorry, guys. You know, I'm definitely, ooh, a dog. All right, so heartbreaking story. Tiffany D. Jackson's novels feel like they're ripped straight from the headlines. Kind of like an episode of Law and Order SVU. They definitely have that feel to them. Yeah, so excellent read. If you've never read anything by Tiffany D. Jackson, I highly recommend this. I think this is, I've read 3 books by her now, and this is hands down my favorite. Next up. So, where my 80s babies at? Woo woo. Let me know down in the comments. Where the 80s babies at? Okay, yes, I'm gonna hush. Watch your mouth. So, the next book that I read was You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. Y'all, my 80s babies, 90s kids, y'all know we were watching those slasher flicks that we had no business watching. We were watching Friday the 13th, we were watching Halloween, we were watching Nightmare on Elm Street, and then, you know, the Scream series. So this book is like a love letter. This novel is like a love letter to all those films. This was just pure fun. So this story follows our main character Chastity and, you know, her Scooby-Doo gang, right? So Chastity and her friends or co-workers, colleagues, they work at a fear simulation park, and it is called Camp Mirror Lake. So every night, you know, they scare the hell out of people for a living, right? And their work site is set up to look like, you know, like that summer camp, kind of like in, you know, like in the Friday the 13th films, right? So their simulation park is based on a movie, you know, Camp Mirror Lake. But unbeknownst to them, there is a little bit of truth behind. There's more to the story, more to this camp than meets the eye. So, like I said, every night, you know, they're scaring the hell out of folks, and our main girl, Chastity, she's the final girl in these performances, right? She's the one who survives at the end. That's all well and good until things, you know, strange things start happening, you know, dead animals, you know, co-workers coming up missing, a crazy old broad down the road showing up with a shotgun. This was so much fun. But it definitely, you know, it gave you the thrills and the chills that you would expect from one of those slasher horror films. And I just ate it up, y'all. Was I like scared out of my mind? No, but it was a good time. It had all those like creepy, thrilling elements, you know, those feelings of dread, feeling like, you know, and we're reading it, right? We're watching it, and just like, you know, what was it? Scary Movie? You remember that the scene where Regina Hall's character is like watching the movie and she's like yelling out things at the screen. I mean, that's how you as the audience is gonna feel reading this book. Like come on. Now y'all know that don't make any sense. Why would they just leave all their stuff like this? Girl, baby, they dead. Don't go in there. That's how I'm thinking. That's how you'll be thinking reading it. Like that dramatic irony. Like we know something that the characters in the book don't. So excellent read, fun time. I can't wait to add more of her novels to my shelf, to my TBR, because this was a good time. And this was her first horror novel. I mean, it's young adult horror, and her I guess her genre that she writes in is young adult fantasy. But this, I need her to write another one. This was really good, y'all. So y'all know we're basically in spooky season now. We're in spooky season, cozy fall, you know, all those vibes. So if y'all have any like spooky recommendations for me, anything that's kind of along those lines, like, you know, slasher film inspired novels, let me know down in the comments. So the next book that I read in August, The Chain by Adrienne McKenty. So this is a thriller. This is a thriller with a very unique premise. Okay, so we have our main character. Let me see. I can't even remember her name. What was her name? What is her name? Rachel. Yeah. So we have our main character, Rachel. All right. Rachel gets this call one day out of the blue. Hey, your daughter's been kidnapped. I kidnapped your daughter. I have your daughter. You know, you're now a part of the chain. You know, if you want your daughter back, you have to kidnap somebody else's daughter. Yeah. So it's a cycle, right? So Rachel, so that she has to, not only does she have to kidnap somebody else's daughter, but she also has to wire this money to, you know, this special account, you know, to the people who created the chain, the creators of the chain. So the lady who calls her, who kidnapped her kid, she's not the leader of this whole, you know, cabal. She's not the leader. She's just another, you know, chain link. She's just another link on the chain, you know. So it is just such a wild premise that these people, you know, the creators of the chain, they have found a way to almost, you know, effectively keep their hands clean. And they have all these scared parents doing the dirty work for them. You know, it's not the creators of the chain going out kidnapping these kids and traumatizing them. It's these parents that they've convinced that, hey, if you don't do this, your kid's gonna die. You know, somebody else is taking your kid, and if you don't kidnap somebody else's kid, we're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill your kid. You know, if you find yourself off of the chain, you know, it's like you're never off the chain. You know, if somebody else messes up down the line, it could have a domino effect, and it might come back, and, you know, you might get hit too. So this book just preys on your fears as a parent. You know, it definitely does. And it just makes you think, how far are you willing to go, you know, to save your child? You know, where do you draw the line? Where is the moral line that you refuse to cross? And I ain't gonna lie, you know, for mine, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would do in Rachel's position and in the position of any of these people on this list. But I'm gonna tell you what, my girl Rachel was made for this. Rachel was made for this. And you see this, you see the distinction between the mothers that are involved in this and then the fathers, because a lot of times they work in teams, and it, you know, ends up being, you know, the mom and the dad, or the mom and, you know, a trusted male friend, because, you know, but Rachel goes from, you know, like, oh my God, woe is me, to, I mean, she's standing 10 toes down. She's, you know, got that bass in her voice. You know, she's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Sometimes I think sometimes it felt like she was really into it. Like, whoa, like, Savannah, slow down. You know, like, she was really playing the part. But this was very entertaining, and the twist, like, when it starts happening, you start to see it, and you're like, oh, like, girl, Rachel, that's the person. But it's so, yeah, it's good. This was definitely probably one of the most unique premises that I've read, and I enjoyed it. I guess I haven't really talked about ratings. I think I just rated everything 4. I think I rated Monday's Not Coming like a 4.5, but everything else I think I gave a 4. Yeah. All right. Anyway, last on the list, y'all. This one broke my heart too. The next book that I read was You've Reached Sam by Dustin Tao. This is young adult fiction, young adult contemporary fiction. So this story follows our main character, Julie and Sam. So Julie and Sam are high school sweethearts. They are seniors, and they are, you know, planning for their future, you know, going off to college, you know, moving away together, getting an apartment, you know, all those, you know, those big milestones that, you know, that you plan for, you know, after high school. And then tragedy strikes. It's clear on the back of the book, Sam has an accident, Sam dies, and Julie is left, you know, to pick up the pieces of her life. This was very heartbreaking in moments. So you know, Julie's going through it. I mean, this is the love of her life, you know. I mean, yeah, she's 17, 18 years old, but this is the love of her life. It's her first love, you know, and it's heartbreaking. And, you know, if you've ever lost someone, you know what it feels like to have that thought, you know, like, I just want to hear their voice. If I could just talk to them one more time, if I could just hear their voice. So Julie calls Sam's phone. You know, she just wants to hear his voice. That's all. She just wants to, you know, clearly she knows he's not gonna pick up. He's dead, right? So she's just hoping to at least get that voicemail so she can hear that voice. But he answers. Sam answers the phone. And, you know, well, I said this is contemporary fiction, but clearly it's contemporary fiction with some magical realism to it. Sam and Julie, they get these moments now, you know, these magical moments between each other that, you know, I don't know, that give them each some comfort and hope, I guess. I think the biggest takeaway for this, the biggest takeaway for this novel is, you know, that it's okay to move forward with your life. That you're not betraying your loved one if you not move on, but if you just keep moving forward. You just gotta keep moving forward, because if you keep looking back, then you're just stuck and stagnant. But also, you know, I think it also points out that it's okay not to rush yourself to move on. You know, in the beginning, Julie's just like, I don't want any reminders. I just want to throw it all. I want to throw everything away. I don't want to think about them. And then, you know, she has a moment where she's like, oh, I really want that stuff back. You know, I need that. I need a piece of him with me. This is definitely a book that focuses on, you know, grief and healing and giving yourself permission to live. know, after your loved one is gone. Y'all, the ending of this, my God, it broke me so bad. So, bless you. It broke me so bad. But this book, I don't know if you want to call it a spinoff. I don't think this is necessarily a series, but one of the characters in this book, his name is Oliver. He was Sam's best friend. And him and Julie were like at odds and totally jealous of each other's relationships with Sam. But in his death, they formed this bond, which is, you know, pretty amazing to see. You know, these young people being there, being a source of comfort for each other. But our man Oliver, he's gonna get, he did. There's a novel out now about Oliver. So I think it just released like this month or last month. So that's nice, that's cute to see. But yeah, this is just, it's such a tender novel, and I loved it. And I have another book, another novel by Dustin Tao. I don't know if I have the heart to read that this year. It might have to wait till next year, because this one just tore me up. I have, where is it? Is it easy to grab? Yeah. I have this one, and it's so gorgeous. I mean, they both, this one's, I'm putting this in, When Haru Was Here. And there's another one that, you know, deals in, you know, grief and things like that. And I think these novels are so important because, you know, teenagers, they are dealing with some, you know, big emotions and hormones and things like that. And they need to know that some of the things that they're feeling and experiencing, you know, that they're normal, that they're not alone. So I think these are, you know, excellent little novels for them. So, oh, look, let me put that back on the car. All right. Well, that is all. Y'all, let me look at this time. This is gonna be the shortest wrap up video I've probably ever done. This is pretty quick, down to the point. I'm filming another vlog at the moment, so but this will come first, and then you'll get my birthday vlog. So y'all, my birthday was Tuesday. Thank you all for the birthday wishes over on Instagram. Thank you. So yeah, so my birthday was Tuesday, y'all. I went and did me some shopping. I did some shopping last Saturday. I did some shopping today. So we're gonna have us a good little haul. I got some Happy Mail. Y'all, I was trying to like wait and open this box on camera in the vlog. This book that my brother sent me, but I went ahead and opened it, and Lord have mercy. I love my siblings. Let me just say that. I love my siblings. They are so silly. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. I'm trying to wrap things up, but I do want to let you all know what's coming next after this. So after this one, you will get my birthday week vlog. Gonna get a little book haul, boo-boos. All right, well that's it, guys. Let me get out of here because I just grilled and it smells good up in here. I'm hungry. So have you read any of these? Let me know down in the comments. For sure. I'd say definitely add this season for sure. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. Add that to your TBR for, you know, for October, for September, for October. It is a good time, I promise you. But definitely, if you read nothing else from this video, Monday's Not Coming is, you know, if you're into thrillers, contemporary fiction, Monday's Not Coming is definitely what I recommend. The rest are good too, but I'm just saying, if you read nothing else from this video, read Monday's Not Coming, okay? Just read it. All right, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And until the next one, friends. Bye.